The first sign was a tremor, a subtle, almost imperceptible vibration that rippled through the ground. It rolled through the Argentinian pampas, a vast expanse of open grassland that seemed to stretch endlessly. Scientists at the seismic monitoring station felt it. They were accustomed to minor tremors, but this one was different. They saw the readings spike on their instruments, the lines on the seismograph dancing erratically. At first they thought it was an earthquake. They were wrong. The patterns didn't match any known seismic activity. It wasn't the shifting of tectonic plates. The source of the tremor was something else entirely. It was something far more colossal, something that defied their understanding of the natural world. It was the awakening of giants, creatures that had slumbered for eons, now stirring once more. Dr. Eleanor Ramirez, a paleontologist at the station, felt a chill run down her spine. She had studied these giants all her life. The tremors were rhythmic, powerful. This was no ordinary seismic event. This was something else, something alive. She rushed towards the observation deck, her heart pounding in her chest. Her colleagues followed, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and excitement. They knew something extraordinary was happening. There on the horizon, a shape emerged from the dust cloud. It was massive, towering over the landscape. A long neck, followed by a massive leathery body. It moved with a grace that belied its size. The ground trembled with each step, sending vibrations through the earth that could be felt miles away. The creature seemed to defy logic, to be a figment of a long-gone era, but it was real. Eleanor knew. She had to believe her eyes. She was looking at a titanosaur, a creature thought to be extinct for millions of years. It was alive, breathing and moving before her. Elena fumbled for her camera, her hands shaking. She needed proof. The world needed proof. This was a moment that had to be captured. This discovery was going to change everything. It was a moment that would redefine history and science as we knew it. The image captured by Dr. Ramirez was the first domino. It was a seemingly ordinary photograph, but it held extraordinary implications. The world was about to change in ways no one could have predicted. It spread like wildfire across the internet. Within hours, the image had gone viral, shared millions of times across social media platforms. People were both fascinated and terrified. News channels broadcast it non-stop. Every major network picked up the story, and it dominated headlines around the globe. The world was glued to their screens. Social media exploded with theories, fears, and denials. Experts and amateurs alike weighed in, each with their own take on the phenomenon. The digital world was in chaos. The initial disbelief was palpable. People couldn't wrap their heads around it. Was it a hoax, a marketing stunt? The questions were endless. It was too fantastical to believe. The idea that dinosaurs could be roaming the Earth again seemed like something out of a science fiction movie. Then, more sightings began to pour in. Eyewitness accounts from around the world started to surface, each more incredible than the last. From the Amazon rainforest to the Gobi Desert, these creatures were appearing in the most unexpected places. From the depths of the Congo Basin to the Australian outback, no corner of the Earth was untouched. Dinosaurs, in all their terrifying glory, were back. They roamed freely, reclaiming territories that had long been lost to time. The world watched in horror as these prehistoric behemoths asserted their presence. Governments scrambled to respond, holding emergency meetings and deploying response teams. Emergency broadcasts urged calm, but panic had already gripped the planet. The stock market crashed, and economies were thrown into disarray. Cities ground to a halt. Streets that were once bustling with life became eerily silent as people stayed indoors, too afraid to venture out. The old world order crumbled in the face of the unimaginable. Society as we knew it was breaking down. The era of humans was coming to an end. The dominance of mankind was being challenged in the most dramatic way possible. The dinosaurs were not just reappearing, they were organized. It was as if they had a plan, a purpose, and the world was left to wonder what that could be. The attacks began subtly. A herd of triceratops rampaging through a power station in Wyoming. A pack of velociraptors systematically dismantling a communication hub in Tokyo. It wasn't random. There was a chilling precision to their movements, a terrifying intelligence. Military forces were deployed, but their weapons seemed woefully inadequate against creatures that could withstand tank shells and shrug off bullets. The dinosaurs moved with a terrifying purpose, targeting infrastructure, communication lines, and military bases. The world watched in horror as cities fell silent, plunged into darkness. The delicate web of civilization, built over centuries, was being systematically dismantled. The dinosaurs, it seemed, had a plan, and humanity was not prepared. The resurgence wasn't limited to known dinosaur species. New, terrifying creatures emerged from the depths of the Earth. Massive serpentine creatures with iridescent scales that slithered through the sky, spitting venom. gigantic armored beasts with bony plates and club-like tails that could level buildings with a single swing. These creatures, unlike anything in the fossil record, defied classification. They were faster, stronger, more intelligent than anything humanity had ever encountered. They seemed to possess an uncanny ability to adapt and evolve at an alarming rate. The world was no longer familiar. It was a nightmare brought to life. The reign of dinosaurs had returned, and with it a new era of terror. In Section 5, Rapid Evolution. Scientists around the world were baffled by the rapid evolution of the returned dinosaurs. They were adapting to the modern environment with terrifying speed. Some developed camouflage abilities, blending seamlessly into urban landscapes. Others exhibited increased intelligence, learning to exploit human weaknesses. This accelerated evolution pointed towards something unnatural, something beyond the realm of conventional science. Theories ranged from genetic tampering to the influence of an unknown force. Whatever the reason, the implications were clear. The dinosaurs were not just here to stay, they were here to rule. The world was on the brink of a new epoch, an epoch where humans were no longer the dominant species. Section 6. Signals from the Arctic. As chaos reigned, a faint signal was detected emanating from the Arctic. It was a rhythmic pulse, a complex sequence of sounds that defied translation. A team of scientists, braving the harsh conditions, set up a research base near the source of the signal. What they discovered sent chills down their spines. Buried deep beneath the ice, hidden for millennia, was a massive metallic structure. It was of alien design, its smooth, featureless surface cold and unyielding. This was no natural phenomenon. This was evidence of something far more ancient and far more advanced than humanity had ever imagined. The signal, they soon realized, was coming from this structure. It was a message, a beacon of some sort, but who was it intended for and what did it mean? Section 7. The metallic structure. The metallic structure was unlike anything ever encountered. Its surface was impenetrable, resistant to even the most advanced drilling techniques. It emitted a low hum, a constant reminder of the advanced technology it represented. The team of scientists worked day and night, desperately trying to decipher its secrets. After weeks of analysis, they finally managed to break through. What they found inside sent shockwaves through the remaining bastions of human civilization. The structure was a beacon that had been dormant for millions of years, and it had been activated the moment the dinosaurs returned. The implications were staggering. Someone or something had sent that signal eons ago, a signal that had triggered the return of the dinosaurs. But why? Section 8. Echoes of the Past. Deep within the metallic structure, the team discovered a chamber. This chamber was unlike anything they had ever encountered before. A blend of ancient and futuristic elements that defied conventional understanding. Inside, they found something that shattered their understanding of history. Artifacts that seemed to belong to a time long forgotten, yet advanced beyond their wildest imaginations. Etched on the walls were depictions of a civilization unlike any they had ever seen. The carvings told stories of a world where the past and future coexisted in harmony. Advanced technology, towering cities, and dinosaurs. These images were a stark contrast to the primitive depictions of dinosaurs we are familiar with. These were not the lumbering beasts that now roamed the earth. They were portrayed as agile, intelligent creatures, capable of complex thought and behavior. These dinosaurs were depicted as intelligent beings, coexisting with the civilization that surrounded them. They were shown engaging in activities that suggested a high level of social organization and technological prowess. It seemed that dinosaurs had not only ruled the earth once, but they had also developed a sophisticated civilization of their own. A civilization that was advanced in ways we are only beginning to understand. A civilization that had, for some unknown reason, vanished from the face of the earth millions of years ago. The mystery of their disappearance added another layer of intrigue to the discovery. The signal, the scientists realized, had been a distress call. A desperate plea for help that had traveled through time and space. A call that had echoed through the eons, a call that had been answered by the very creatures it was meant to warn. The implications of this discovery were profound, suggesting a connection between past and present that we are only beginning to unravel. Section 9. Resist or adapt. Now humanity faced a choice. Do they resist the inevitable, clinging to the remnants of their crumbling civilization? Or do they adapt to this new world order, a world ruled by the very creatures they had once studied only as fossils? The dinosaurs were not simply animals. They were a force of nature, a resurgence of a power that had been dormant for millions of years. They were a reminder of the impermanence of human dominance, the fragility of civilization. As the last vestiges of human resistance crumbled, the question echoed in the hearts of every survivor. Resist or adapt? The answer, it seemed, lay buried in the mists of time, shrouded in the mystery of the dinosaurs' return.